So I don't even really do things like this. I usually just try to stick to the games and the really bad dad jokes and things like that. But I just needed, I, I learned something today. People kept telling me that I should try to become a supervisor. I should, try to be a leader, all this other stuff, go to these leadership courses. And I was like, there is not enough money in the entire GDP for me to be a supervisor. Not at all. Like, I have no desire whatsoever. You couldn't pay me enough to be in that position. And I said that to a guy that I really respect. And he leans back in his chair and he goes, it's interesting because at this level, it's not about the money. It's about the people. It's about taking care of them and making sure that they're good and things like that. And, I thought, okay, well, it's a cool sentiment or whatever. But, fast forward a couple of months where I had this really bad appraisal after not being selected for a promotion. My predecessor, she had left and she'd been gone for a couple of months. I've been doubling down, trying to make sure that the work gets done, things like that. And, we lost a lot of people, like hundreds of people. So, everybody's kind of feeling it. And I'm thinking, I've been knocking it out of the park. I've been doing so much extra. I've been doing so much extra work. And my supervisor's been saying, oh, you're doing such a great job. You're doing wonderful. I'm getting kudos all the time. And I'm getting kudos all the time. I actually get the appraisal, and it is so bad. It's so bad. I basically just barely pass. My supervisor says that my technical competence isn't up to snuff, and my customer service isn't all that great. But yeah, I just barely passed the appraisal, and this is, mind you, after I had just tried to get a promotion. I just attempted to, and so I applied to it. I interviewed for it, and the supervisor didn't think that I had what it took, even though I had been doing the work for the last couple of months. But they chose somebody else, and then turn around and I have this bad appraisal. And then it kind of dawned on me, the hurt that I'm feeling right now for having been told how good of a job I'd been doing. I wouldn't want anybody else to feel that way. I couldn't believe that my own leadership would do something like this. And so, yeah, I passed the appraisal, but just barely. We only have like a 4-point system. It's 1, 2, 3, and 5. And then I was just like, damn, I think I get it now. And taking care of your people it's not just the training, and it's not just the discipline, and being a supervisor and being a leader, it's not just like, oh, I've got all these people underneath me, I'm so powerful, I'm so important. It's really not. I think what he was trying to say is, you're giving people the resources that they need. And if you have people and they're performing really high and you see them and they're getting all of these accolades and all of these kudos and shout outs from your customer base, that you'd reward that high performance. Especially you've got somebody who's sitting here and they're covering down on 3 different programs. So I guess the moral of the story is just like, if you're in a position of power, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your people, you're identifying your top performers, and you're recognizing their contributions, not just with lip service, but with something tangible that they can use to further their careers. Because at the end of the day, it's not just that person that's under you. That person is connected to other people, to people that depend on them, their children, their spouse, things like that. And it really hurts motivation. It really hurts morale when you ignore significant contribution. I'm sure there's things, other things there as well that I'll discover as I continue. But I really need to just kind of reassess my priorities and how I spend my time. I'm definitely really good at what I do. I've got a proven track record. I've got empirical evidence showing that I've, even though I'm just a one man army, increased efficiency, in this area. But I usually don't do stuff like this. You guys know I stick to the jokes. I stick to the video games reviews. But I was hoping, maybe somebody could learn from what I went through, you know. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, honestly, and take care.